Now, in the previous episode, we talked about how do you actually coach your clients online? How do you actually have a system to coach your clients? So number one, they get the best possible results. Number two, you are actually minimizing your manual time in the business, so you're not wasting away your time and you're not having to reinvent the wheel every time a new client comes on board. And then number three, you're actually maximizing your profits. Now, in this episode, we're going to go through the funnel intensive. This is really importantly, how do you have a set of steps set up so that you can attract in the right type of clients and you start signing on new clients each and every week.
All right, so the one big problem with the old personal training model is that you are capped with your time, right? Yeah. We covered this in the last post with how to train clients online. It is the basic, consistent rule in all of everything that we're talking about right now is you are capped with the amount of time that you have and therefore the amount of dollars that you have the ability to make, okay? So along with this, okay, when people first try to make the foray into online training, they set their sights into marketing and content production, right? And what we see a lot is people fall into what's called the friend zone, or your audience becomes part of the friend zone instead of really warming up, really wanting to get to know you and actually applying for your services, applying to become a client. So the friend zone situation really is where you're putting out content, whether it be blog posts, videos, pictures, shorter blurbs, whatever it may be, and people are ingesting that content, but that's all they're doing. There's nowhere for them to go. There's no follow-up. There's no actual funnel, which is what we're about to talk about, for them to actually move from being a consumer of your content into a customer of your product.
Exactly, because the most important thing that we have to talk about is how do we actually get you clients? How do you actually make money? And I think so many coaches and trainers, especially in the health and fitness world, we get caught up thinking that it's all about having more followers, having more likes, and there is not a direct correlation from followers to dollars, and we want dollars right now. So if you want to be able to build your business, have more dollars and freedom, then use what we're using right now. If you just want to go and build more followers and likes, then do some booty shots, because that's proven time and time again. Yep. So let's go through, because a perfect example of this was Dan. He sold $12,500 of personal training just in one day. He's now got a $210,000 business model that we're working towards. And the thing is, he's only doing it with 22 hours of work each and every week. Now, for him to do that $12,500 of sales just in one day, there was no website at all, and there was no fancy funnels. What this is about is having a clear set of steps. And this is, especially for me, like when I quit personal training in Dubai and moved to 100% being an online trainer, this is what I wish I had, because this is why I struggled for so long. I was getting clients, losing clients, not getting enough, and it just felt like I was just etching away really slowly, and it was grinding, and it was no fun.
Yeah, you probably focused on the wrong things too. And another point on the website, like Dan, he didn't start with a website or any fancy funnels. And to be honest, it probably worked in his advantage, because sometimes when we start working with new people, they will have a website already. They'll have a platform and stuff like that. But we kind of have to tell them to put it on the back burner, because we're gonna have to redo it anyways, because they're focusing on all the wrong things, right? You can have a website that looks great. You have your abs, your booty there, and it looks awesome, it's shiny, and it looks sweet, but it's not gonna make you any money, because it's not going to convert these consumers into customers.
Yeah, perfect. So what we start with, number one, is the money map. This is a key piece that we use with all the members in the Coaches Cartel. And the first thing you need to figure out is, what is your traffic source? Where are you actually trying to bring in traffic? Now, before we even go through all the steps of the money map, the idea of this is, how do you have a green light system? So if you mapped all this out and you said, okay, red, it's not working at all. Orange, it's not working that great. Green, it's working perfectly right now. You want to be able to map everything out, and you want to have a green light all the way through. So you know that you've got, number one, your traffic source. So it could be YouTube, it could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be 101 different platforms.
Pinterest, whatever.
Yeah, totally. There are so many different, and that obviously depends with where's your market and what do you enjoy using when it comes to what is the right traffic source for you. Then the second key step of the money map is the lead magnet. Essentially, how do you actually start showcasing that you know your stuff at the end of the day? Because it's not all about just doing more videos, writing more blog posts, getting that free stuff out there. It's actually, how do you get someone to take those critical next steps with you as well? So is it you're giving away a free diet, a workout guide, a cheat sheet, a video series, a webinar. There's plenty of options that you could be doing, but there's only going to be a few options that are going to be working for you. So this is where right now you want to be able to actually map out your money map and say, okay, right now, do you have a lead magnet that is working up to par? Do you have any greens? No. Okay. Do you have any oranges? No. Do you have any reds? Or do you have no lead magnets at all? And this is what you need to work on.
Yeah, exactly. Basically finding any holes that you have in your sales process, essentially. And the next step from the lead magnet is your conversion method. So how are you going to convert these people once they've actually ingested your lead magnet, after they've opted in?
Yep.
Whether that be your toolkit, your free workout, your free diet, it doesn't really matter. It does matter depending on who exactly you're working with, but this is why the principle of specificity is so important, right? You can take your favorite fitness guru out there and see, okay, they have this, this diet template that they're giving away for free. I'm going to do the exact same thing. But the reality is you're not necessarily talking to the exact same people as they are. So you really have to tweak things and target things specifically to make sure that each step of your money map is all green lit.
Exactly. And so you've really got to have the conversion event nailed down. You need a green light here, because your business will not thrive if you do not, because that is where you're going to be getting stuck. You're going to be getting people watching your stuff, reading your stuff. Yeah, it looks all fantastic, but you're not actually making sales. You're not getting new clients. And this could be a conversion method. It could be a webinar. It could be you doing a sales call. It could be you sitting down face to face and having that conversation. It could be a video. It could be a sales page. There are many different options out there, and this is where we can't give you, say, oh, this is what you need to do, bang, 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 because I know there's so many people out there trying to say those things, and that never works. This is where we want to come to the point and say, you know what, we come from what's the right strategy for you, because what works for me won't work for Josh, and what works for Josh won't work for you. So that's why this is actually about helping you find what is the piece of the puzzle that you need to have in place to then know what it is exactly that you need to do from here. Now, the next step is the follow-up sequence, because we all know not 100% of the people that say land on your webinar or your sales page or your sales video or any of that stuff that is your conversion event is going to actually become a buyer. But that's perfectly fine. Just because they're not going to buy from you exactly at that point right then doesn't mean they're not going to buy from you later on down the point, because so many things happen. Like, how many times? Actually, I think the rate of, so in e-commerce world, which is buying physical products online, so this is again very similar to selling coaching online, is a cart abandonment. Now they say 60% of sales are lost through cart abandonment. So that means you click on through, you collect, this is what I want to buy, you get to that very last step, 60% of people are getting lost right there.
Yep.
Why is that? Not because they don't want that product necessarily. It could be maybe they've got to go to the toilet.
Yep.
Maybe they've got to go train arms. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe their kids are sleeping. Do you know what I mean? Or like just woken up. There's 100 different things that you have to be able to do. So your follow-up sequence has to be in place. And this goes into the next big thing that we want to talk about in a part of this funnel intensive, and that is what is the actual funnel mechanics. Let's talk about some of the tech stuff right now, because I know a lot of people get really scared about this, and it's not. We're not techie people. We're not techie people at all.
Especially not this guy.
Not at all. That's why we pay people to do that stuff. But you don't need to be able to go deep into it. So let's think about tech stuff in 3 important areas of your business right now. Number one, how are you actually getting your lead magnet out there, and especially emails? So like MailChimp is
it's a free option.
It's a free option. To tell you the truth, I don't love it anymore. We've had a few Coaches Cartel members come in using that, and we've quickly taken them off and moved them to a better, cheaper option. So really simply, there's Aweber, which is a cheap option, which does a pretty good job. There is actually using the ClickFunnels email marketing system in the actual ClickFunnels account, and I think that does a really good job. And I use ActiveCampaign. So it's kind of like you start and get a little bit more advanced as you move along. Yeah,
depending on what you need and what phase you're at in your business, right? And just starting out, I get questions all the time where it's like, there's a lot of hidden costs sometimes to starting a business. You sign up for a coaching program, whatever, it's this much money to start, and then a week later it's like, and you have to buy this program, this software, this other system, and all this other stuff, and that's another grand. Really, you don't need a lot of money to start up whatsoever. It can be $15 per month subscription for the entire foundation of what's going to drive your income over the next few months, right? And then once you get to a point where you're bringing in, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 per month, whatever it is it may be for you, whatever your income goal is, then you have the ability to graduate to the higher end, more leverageable tools in order to scale you to the next level, right? Because that's what we're talking about, scaling.
Yeah, absolutely. So email, that's super easily covered. Next is, what's your actual funnel going to be? So where are you going to place your funnel right now? Now, we have had coaches come on board and they've done like free options that kind of like tie into like their WordPress sites and stuff like that. And to be honest, it's too hard. They spend too much time manually trying to do like creating all that stuff, which is like, we're not web designers. We shouldn't be doing that as trainers. And secondly, it just didn't work that well, to tell you the truth. So we actually recommend most of the time ClickFunnels. That's what we use. And the big reason that we recommend that is because we actually say, depending on what funnel you need, we have all the funnels set up. So we actually transfer the funnels into our clients' accounts and then they have it set up. So they just click the button, they get the funnel into their account and it's good to go. You're ready to rock and roll from there. Another option is Leadpages when it comes to setting this stuff up. ClickFunnels and Leadpages, super similar.
Yeah.
I just always kind of gravitated more towards ClickFunnels and it ticks all my boxes, so I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, the integration options are there. It's very user friendly. If you're gonna build, if you're not gonna use one of our templates for the funnels and stuff, it is literally drag and drop.
Yeah. Drag
and drop, stupid simple. If trust me, if he can do it, you guys can do it.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
Yeah.
Okay, now the third technology piece that you need to be able to think about is, what are you going to produce content with? Now, because your content is going to be on your free stuff, your content is going to be in your funnel as well. Because remember, let's say for example you sign up for somebody's lead magnet, then you're going to want to often be able to give more content in the actual sequencing, because you need to be able to build, grow, kind of like nurture that relationship. And this again needs to be able to make super simple. So a lot of people get caught up. Let's think right now, shooting this video. Yes, we're using a Canon 700D. There's a big Rode mic up there. Do you know what I mean? This is something that we've been using and it looks fantastic. To tell you the truth, I might probably downgrade it. A lot of the videos we shoot is off it like an iPhone. The iPhone 7 works perfectly fine. I'm sure the iPhone 8 does an even better job, and everything else to coming from it. So the iPhones do a perfectly great job when it comes to this stuff. Don't get caught up in the tech stuff, especially when it comes to creating these content, these pieces, whether it's images, shoot the photos from your phone. Use something like canva.com, completely free for you to be able to start using.
Great tool.
You can use or for your Facebook, your Instagram, every single social media piece, or your website stuff can be created through that just alone. And when it comes to say video editing, we use Final Cut Pro to cut videos up. You could use
iMovie.
Use iMovie. It's free.
Free program.
It's on your computer.
It's on your
Use it
computer.
from there. So again, don't get caught up when it comes to the actual tech stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, what you were talking about there with, when somebody's opted into your funnel and we want to give them follow-up information, follow-up content, more points of contact, because most of the time there, and this is where how you're delivering your content becomes important. To be honest, a lot of people love the more authentic, Facebook Lives just off your phone, where it's a little bit shaky. You're walking around, it's very intimate. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a studio setup or whatever. A lot of times it doesn't even convert as well. But the reason why follow-up content is so important, your follow-up process, is because most people won't buy on the first point of contact. So most of your sales are probably going to come from those people who've been exposed to your sales page once, have clicked off for whatever reason, and then now they're in there. Now they've gotten 10 more emails.
Yeah, I'm getting, like in my fitness business, I'm getting people buying now that have literally been following me from the start, like let's say 3 years ago, just online. So like there's a 3-year lag between when they first got introduced to my stuff to when they're buying right now. So there's a host of different reasons for that. Now, lastly in this point that we want to cover in this episode is what we call omnipresence, which is essentially how do you be everywhere? Now, there's a bit of a two-sided sword to this, because yes, you want to be everywhere. Yes, you want to have people seeing you on Facebook and then seeing you on Instagram and then being able to see your notifications and your posts in Facebook groups. And then what about Facebook Messenger? And then also in your email. And you can see... Yeah, exactly. So you can see where this is going. It continues on. But that's not... You don't do that from step one. Do you know what I mean? This is where we recommend start with one platform, get really good at one platform, get really good at producing content in one media, on one medium, and then you can start to grow. But you need to be able to understand that there needs to be an essence of omnipresence. You need to start being everywhere, because you will literally get lost if you don't. Your people that you're trying to get as your clients will go to somebody else.
And when you're trying to create this omnipresence, the worst thing that you can do, because this can honestly be pretty intimidating, especially if you're not too tech savvy or you're not very comfortable on social media or whatever it may be. If you just try to do it flying by the seat of your pants, winging it every week, not really knowing, what you're gonna put out or what kind of strategy you have, you will drown again. That's another good way to get lost. Right? You have to, and this is something that we really instill in people, and we have a framework in place, social media strategy 2.0, our content publishing calendars and stuff like that. Every single week, say on a Sunday, you look at your plan and you know exactly what you're putting out every single day, and it's just all scheduled out and done for you. That is really the only way that you can create a successful omnipresence without going crazy and without looking sporadic. You can post 5 times on Instagram one week and then nothing on Facebook whatsoever, and then one YouTube video the next week and nothing over here, right? Because it's really hard to keep track of. So keep in mind that when you're trying to go after this omnipresence, you have to create a structure for yourself that's very easy to stick with. So start with one platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. One of those 3 is usually a good place to start. Create your schedule for that, systemize that one, have it in place, and then move on to the next one, and then learn how to connect them all.
Yep, totally. And that's the thing, like, you need to be able to have this structure in place, because we understand as well, so many coaches and trainers watching right now, and this could be you're running a face-to-face business, you want to grow your online business as well. There's a limited amount of hours in the day, and for you to actually create good quality content, you need to bring your best self to the table as well. So to wrap this episode into a nutshell, number 1, have you gone through your money map? Have you gone through and seen that you've got green lights in all 4 areas of your money map? Number 2, have you actually gone through and you've seen and you know what you're going to do with the tech stuff when it comes to emails, funnels, and creating content? Really simply, because if you nail those 3, your life will be so much easier. And then point number 3 is, how are you going to start creating omnipresence? How do you be on the platforms where you need to be so that you can start growing your following, but more importantly, being able to grow people that are raving fans, and that then you can turn into clients as well. Now, in the next episode, we're going to be covering Facebook ads for coaches and trainers. And this is where we're going to go really deep right now. There's going to be a full guide and article that this big boy right here has mapped out for you. There's some serious ninja stuff coming up for you. So in the actual episode, we're going to go through, why should you be using Facebook ads? Why should you not be using Facebook ads? How do you actually start setting up your Facebook ads? And we really go through step by step by step, blow by blow, what it is that you need to be doing to show you how easy it is. Because we get messages literally every single week. We get coaches coming on board literally every single week that are using Facebook ads and not being able to pull a profit from it, which means that they are losing money. So we don't want that to happen to you, and you want to be able to have this set up really easily, because it can be as well. Now, also, if you have not joined the 100K coach plan, then I'm going to pop a link below for you to be able to join. We recently recorded this coaching episode to walk you through exactly all the different 9 areas to your business, and so you can know exactly what it is that you need to be able to do as well. So it gives you a full workbook to go through the results from the clients that have already used it, are absolutely raving about it. So make sure that you do join the 100K coach plan. And also, if you want to work with us privately, I'll pop a link below for you to be able to apply. First, you need to actually qualify to see if you're good enough to join the coaches cartel and to make sure that you're a good fit into it. And then obviously we want to actually map out what is going to be the best step from you. So as always, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.